Yo, welcome. Welcome. What's up? Welcome, welcome. It's the next day, guys. Maybe I really will get into a flow. Today I feel pretty good. Today I feel like I'm in a flow state. You know, I'm in a routine, I'm in a rhythm. I'm in a real rhythm here in my life. So it's good. It's being good. It's you know, it's real. But the struggle is also real, and I understand it, like, outside of my routine. I understand the fear of being lazy. I understand the fear of having no focus. I understand the fear of having fear. Fear of anything, fear of everything. I understand it. But yeah, we're here, guys. We're here again. Today the clouds might break. It was snowing this morning a little bit, but they might break up today, you know. Who knows? It's kind of odd how it's like some days it seems like your attitude is totally reliant upon the sun and the sunshine and the weather, and then other days it's like, you know what, you feel good, you feel fine, and it has nothing to do with the weather. It's hard to tell, you know, why you'd feel good someday and some other day you wouldn't. It makes me think about, like, so much how other people perceive you, like somebody that's getting out every day and like says what's on their mind versus somebody who's, you know, silent. I think there's such a huge difference between people that are quiet and people that are vocal. You know, in the quietness, the people that are quiet, I just feel like I know this because I've been there. You know, it's like everything that's spoken matters so much. You know, everything that's spoken matters so much. But for somebody who's like talks a lot, it's just like conversation to conversation. You know what I mean? I feel like it's important to like think about what you say. You know, if I'm to wear anything today, it's that I need to think about what I say. I need to make sure that my words aren't just, you know, sort of just trash, like things I'm going to throw away. They need to be something substantial. Because I think a lot of people in this world, they judge, you know, and they come to conclusions like very quickly about things that you've said. But again, for somebody who talks all day, it's just words. You know, 10 minutes later, just because you're expressing words, you could say a whole other host of things. But 10 minutes ago, whatever you said to that person who sort of listens to everything, you know, they're holding you to that 10 minutes of what you said. You know, it's kind of like a little bit of a story of like the boy who cried wolf, but the boy who always, like, the boy who said every word, you know, even when he didn't have to. And it's almost like nobody believed what he had to say, like, anyway. Either that or he was always mistaken for saying something else. Because 10 minutes later, he just thought it was no big deal. But to everybody who was quiet, you know, they really took notice to what he was saying. So I think today's like motto, today's slogan, today's constitution is, you know, think before you speak kind of thing. We're trying to understand ourselves. What makes us speak? Why do we speak in the first place? Maybe if we understand that, we can understand more where language comes from and how to use our language better. It won't just necessarily be this thing that we, you know, throw in the wind. You know, maybe it isn't just for fun. Maybe there's some real reason There's some bigger reason to why we say things. And maybe in understanding why we say things, we can understand why we say things. Sometimes you just got to say something 3 times, you know what I mean? Make it so it makes a dent, right? You didn't really hit the nail on the head the first time. You got to tap it a few more times. Get that nail pushed deep into the wood. But today is a little bit of a different feeling today, you know what I mean? Like usually it's like I'm kind of going slow and I build off the motivation that everybody else kind of brings to the table, but right now it's all kind of on my own. It's like, oh, there's the sun. It's sort of peeking through the clouds a little bit. It's trying to make its way down to earth, you know, off the mountain. This whole valley, we're in a what's called the Salt Lake Valley, and this whole valley is like surrounded by mountains. It looks like a giant crater or a giant volcano. Like it looks like we're in the middle of a giant volcano and we're just surrounded by the rim, you know, and it's like there's a world up there, there's a world out there, you know, just up over the mountains kind of thing. It's like a different world. We're kind of like sheltered. We're sheltered in here from the rest of the world. Maybe whatever the sun is will make its way down from the mountain. I always think, are things that connected? Can you draw relation from things that obviously aren't necessarily one thing, but if they mattered that much, then maybe there's a representation of everything and everything. I always think that. I always think, is it smart? Is it smart to draw conclusions about something else by looking at one thing? Even though you can't necessarily prove relation, you just say that everything is related. And if something matters that much, you can find a worth of it in anything. Yo, thanks guys. Thanks for the like, I see it. I see you. I see you, man, thanks. So yeah, just, you know, what's the smartest way to go about speaking? Is it to continually keep sharp, or does speaking without rest actually dull the blade, dull our mind, dull our senses? Where are we embarrassed? Maybe embarrassment and fear are much more of something that is like the sharpening stone for ourselves. Because every time we come to those moments where we would feel embarrassed in public or around others, we have reservation, we hold back so we don't use something too much. Maybe reservation and being conservative of things is truly what we should strive for. But how do you operate in that place when you've naturally come to another place where everything is expressed and you hold nothing back and you say life is an expression and you're supposed to reach this expression? And as soon as you reach this expression, you understand that there's only one value in the world. There's only one valuable thing, and that's in expressing yourself. The idea that you were something that lived, and life was this thing which maybe it has dead ends, but life cheers things on which go towards some expression of truth and of identity. Maybe that's all life is about, is identity. Maybe it is, but you know, the more we try to understand life, I feel like we come to this place where life is collapsed into multiple things, and then maybe identity, there's a greater identity, and we don't have to identify with our own identity anymore, and we try to identify with other things. We try to come up with these ideas that collapse the world, that collapse multiple people into scenarios that give us some form of identity beyond ourselves, trying to live forever maybe. Maybe it's just natural instinct to say that there's something greater. It's this idea of living beyond yourself, being connected, being interwoven. You are within time as much as time affects you. You're in the equation and you move with it. You're not necessarily something that's independent, which time affects so much. So you come from all these things, so maybe that's where you go. So then maybe identity becomes something which we make short notice of it, to say that it is fleeting, to say that we identify with some greater being? Is that the natural order of life? Is this some sense of there being justice in the world? For every life, there is another life. That sounds like the opposite of justice, though, but maybe it sort of breaks the law, so to speak, because all of a sudden things don't necessarily matter. It's not necessarily about the strong or the weak. In some longer time frame, we try to frame our mind, but if we do, then we're just the same. But maybe life is about the difference. It's about growth and change. So in that place where nothing matters, then we're able to be our true selves. We're constantly growing and changing. Maybe there's a constant, but it's constantly rearranging. We're rearranging our ways of thinking, our expressions, our modes. And in doing that, our identity grows. What do you guys think? I didn't necessarily know I was going to be doing poetry, but I'll do it if I'm here. I'll do it if the time is poignant, right? Something about today, though, feels different. Does it feel different to anybody else out there? Does today feel different to anybody else out there? I wonder, because for some reason today feels different to me. It feels like I can move beyond things. I am somehow not necessarily depicted by things. I am a constant thing. I can brave the storm. I can weather both cold and warm, whatever the weather, right? It doesn't necessarily affect me. I'm basically almost something you can't see, almost like I can't be, almost like I'm not. I'm nothing. Then maybe that's more like you and me. Because in that place, then we can see, we listen. Like I said, we're a quiet thing, we're small. Somehow, we're a greater being. We acknowledge everything that we're seeing, and we naturally gravitate towards things that love and don't hate. Maybe that's what being is about, is trying to shut off all this noise, trying to say that it's not about being bigger or trying to be anything necessarily at all. It's mostly just about being itself. And maybe the more close that we can get to this idea, then we're taken and we don't fall off the shelf. Taken by what, though? Maybe truth is like a human being. It moves as a spirit with the things that we're seeing, and we gravitate towards attraction, towards something that is conscious but not. It's full of oblivious things that work. Somehow there's a currency itself within ourselves. Did you guys know that? That your cells, they pay off debts, they work towards ends, they try to get better things, stronger, smarter, faster, better, stronger. I wonder if my coffee's too strong today, or maybe I slept in some weird way. I can tell you about my dreams I had. I was in a place like some classroom where people were leaving, and so I could claim things of my own. Somebody left a Lego set and I took it, and also I played the clarinet, but I stole some other instrument and I played a tune. I could tell you what it's like. It was like I was whistling in my sleep at night. And I played this song, this melody, and people said, "Wow, that's kind of neat." And I said, "Thanks, thank you so much. I'm glad that I could make a treat." So I played this song inside my head, while I lay down in my bed and navigated the dreamscape, not life, something instead. So that was my dream, and there was somebody playing the violin, and I said, I can do that as well, my friend. So I picked up some stringed instrument and I began to play it, and I had songs in my head. Should people get paid for anything if sometimes the greatest things are when we sleep and dream, but they're nothing? Like, does anybody really make money if everything is just easy? Because all we are is an expression of life. It couldn't be any easier. There is no mistake. There's no strife. We can't mess up. Whatever we do, it's life. It's true, both for me and both for you. So we work hand in hand. We do what we can. Sometimes we walk upon fleeting things like the sand. But sand is just like time, my friend, which means it's more like diamonds than sand. This idea of something so hard it's conceptually visited within our minds. Maybe sand structures, they can stand the test of time if we just think about time itself, you see. There is sand, it exists, it's free. Do I really enjoy these moments of this expression? I don't necessarily know. That's my confession. Sometimes I feel like I'm just saying things. Maybe I'm bothering what's around me. Yo, thanks for the likes, guys. What's up? Good morning. Have a cup. If you don't have a cup, grab one. I do this every morning, guys. Every morning at 8:30 or whatever, 9 o'clock, I'm here. So at least I try to be, unless there's like other family engagements or, things like that. But so maybe money's more like life and that it itches. It's like some pearl inside. It's like sand again, this thing that changes hands again. It moves from one thing and one more thing because it can. And maybe life is about abrasion. It's about something that's like frustration. This idea that we can't necessarily understand it. This idea that we're further away from just being, you see, because the more that you're just being, the more that you're not thinking, the more that you're just seeing and breathing and being and doing nothing. You exist because you exist. And in that way, nothing is missed. You can't do anything that you can't do. It's as basic as that. It's like 1 + 1 or 2 + 2. So maybe life is like this abrasive thing that as soon as we touch it, it's remembering that life is about change. It's changing. And the more that we're rearranging, the more uncomfortable we are, the more that it's like life. So maybe this human being, again, we're inside a cell, another body, my friend. We are just living cells, you see. Everybody takes on roles there merrily. And sometimes life, it seems to invert the big is small, but the mind is inert. You can't necessarily affect things in the place where we could see some giant's face. But when you're a giant, you maybe think you're small. Your ears are huge, so you hear every tree fall. Why the poetry? Why the messages? Oh, why me? Heaven's gates and hellish landscapes, silent spells and cracks in concrete. Say some things that provide visuals to make words seem neat all of a sudden saying words is a skill. You leave it up to those who do it for the thrill. It's something that can actually cause a reaction. So maybe words, they're actually something that are manufactured, they're artificial, they can cause some fear. Maybe that's what's being close and far to the word, if you're there. So what's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's in the skies? What's in your minds? What's on your toes? What's on your feet? Do you think words are dumb, boring, or that they're neat? Again, maybe they're like frustrating now. All of a sudden, anything that becomes money is like some sense of it being sticky like honey, getting all over you, but it's sweet. So it's like covered with bees and things that you have to be careful about. You try to get as much honey as you can, but it just becomes tougher and tougher and tougher, you see. Are you gonna mess up? Are you gonna get sticky? Are you gonna end up in a sticky situation? Maybe nobody really has anything, you see. Maybe we're all just bare naked, some soulless thing, some thing without anything. If that makes sense for a moment, hence. I feel like it did. For a second there, nobody had anything. Everybody was barren, untrusting. Maybe because everything is wanting. Maybe wanting is the opposite of having. But if we want nothing, then we obviously don't have anything. So there's some trick to it. Should I try to understand, or should I say screw it? So if everything becomes frustrating for everybody in life, then maybe we all have the same thing, a problem, you see? Everybody has a problem, everything has a problem. No matter what you do, that problem will be there. It's life, you see? Sometimes it stares, sometimes it glares, sometimes it makes us happy though, because the problems we feel like we know, but maybe we have a bigger problem then. We can't understand the problem, we don't see it, we're ignorant. Oh no, you see, then maybe the problem will negatively affect me, right? The problem is this poetry, it just comes out, especially when I'm alone with nothing. It kind of bothers me. I guess it was cool for a minute, you know? Yo, thanks for the thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, guys. I always wonder what you guys think, you know what I mean? I always wonder what you think. But maybe you're saying something to me. You know? Maybe I should be more quiet. Maybe I should be quiet too. We hit our mark though. We hit our mark. 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Coffee's almost gone. Now we just got to have confidence for the rest of the day. Like, we can do anything, you know, there's no obstacle in our way. We're strong enough to stand on our feet. Anyways, I wish that, yo, what's up, Saeed? Just saying some poetry, my friend. I'm kind of over it though. I kind of get bored with it, you know? Just finished dinner, nice. I'm about to go have breakfast. You know, this is morning for me. This, like, you know, as you can see, the sun is just coming up over the mountains. I think it's gonna be a cloudy day though. I don't think the sun's gonna break through. It's gonna be cloudy here. Maybe snow again. We might have sun for a minute. I slept good though last night. It'll be 9 p.m. in 2 hours, nice. So it's 7 o'clock p.m. there right now. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock a.m. here. I got a whole day to fill, man. I got a whole day to figure out what to do. Gotta go and gotta make some food and gotta get to work, I guess, you know? Gotta go get to work, man. I gotta go get to work. Or at least make it work. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end this stream soon and just at 30 minutes or something. I'll end it in like 30 minutes. It's like 2 more minutes. But I'm glad you showed up though, man. I can say like, all right, bro. You know, like, you killed it today, Saeed. You killed it. What do I do for a living? My family does, we do construction and we maintain like rental units. We own properties. So it's like we built like developments, and then we own some of the homes that we built, and we rent them out. So we like manage rental properties. It's a family business. Like everybody in my family works in it except for one of my brothers. One of my brothers lives in Salt Lake. His name's Weston. He lives in Salt Lake and like does business there, his own business. He's like a consultant for like, they just like analyze data, and like they're a consultant firm for like how efficient businesses are. Kind of like Elon Musk's Doge. They're basically, that's what they do. Seems like responsibility. Yeah, it's like, it's tough work, but I mean, hopefully it gives you enough to like retire, you know what I mean? But it's like, I've been doing it my whole life, so. I've been running, like I know how to drive tractors, I know how to pour concrete, I know how to like frame a house, I know how to run electrical, run plumbing, install windows. Accenture, I'm not sure what Accenture is, but yeah, one of my brothers, there's only one kid in my family that doesn't do the family business. And like I said, he's just a financial consultant, and he like analyzes data from like other businesses and stuff. He like works with Microsoft Excel and everything. But everybody else in my family is a carpenter. We do like one big project like every 4 years or something like that. So like every 4 or 5 years we start a new project, and we're thinking about starting a new project and building like 30 homes. But you only do that like every like 4 or 5 years, because it takes you like 4 or 5 years to do it. So yeah, and like maybe like 4 more years, He's a data analyst. Yeah. Okay. Accenture. Yeah. That's one of everybody else in my family does. We like work with wood and stuff like that, but there's one kid that just does data analyst. Yeah, that's all he does. He's like a computer. He's like a human computer or something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now. I finished my coffee. I've had like a 30-minute stream. There was like quite a few people here actually, just listening to me. You know, just like rant and stuff. So kind of interesting. Like right before you join, there's like 20 people in here just listening to me talk. But yeah, I'll see you later, Saeed. If I don't see you tonight, then I'll see you tomorrow at my gym stream again, okay, man? Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye.